Hey Soul Tribe, this is your Soul Coach Jeremy Ryden. You know, it really is important that you're doing the right thing at the right time. You know, in the Old Testament, Ecclesiastic, it says there's a time for every purpose under heaven. You know, a lot of times people get set back, not for lack of trying, but focusing on the wrong thing at the wrong time. You might have all the right intention in the world, but if it's not season or the time for that thing to develop or take off, you're just going to be spinning your wheels and eventually give up altogether. I don't want you giving up. That's why I help people know exactly what they should be doing at every season of their life. I want to talk about March. Today is March 1st, 2020. And let's talk a little bit about what's going on universally at this time of the year. Now, March is always the third number in numerology. So that has to deal with communication, counseling, speaking your truth, teaching. It also has a lot to do with being friendly, outgoing, and friends, and a happy time, using humor to make things easier. So that base number of 3 is always going to be there in every March, a time of more happy celebration feeling, which we get. Why? Because we're coming out of winter, getting ready into spring and new life, and that creates a lot of creativity. So March brings a lot of creativity with your communication and with the desire to, start a whole new year. Spring is all about new stuff. But this March, besides being the third number in numerology, is also becomes a 7. Because every year there's a personal year number that affects that year in the universe, and you apply that to the personal month number. I do that all for you right now. March is the personal number 7. And 7 is all about reconnecting to your spirituality, listening to your intuition, intelligence, opening your mind for study and absorbing new information that you can apply later down the road. It's about reevaluating and renewing your soul. So the activities in March that are supported by the universe are activities where you slow down a little bit to ask yourself important questions. Questions like, am I in line with my soul purpose? Am I okay with the relationship that I'm in right now? Am I going in the direction that I really want to be heading in? The deep questions. So this isn't time just for shallow talk or shallow relationships. This is a time for a deep connection to your higher power. So intuition is going to be really high in the month of March. So what you want to do in 2020 this month is ask your intuition, ask your higher self, listen to that still small voice. What should I be doing with my life at this stage of the game? Where should I be heading? Who have I become? A lot of people don't understand is that you're not always the same person. Hopefully you're not the same person that you were 20 years ago, even maybe 6 months ago. So if you're not the same person, who are you now? Who have you become? And are you living those goals and dreams that are now in your heart? You know, the Bible says God gives us the desire of our heart. One way that can interpret it, that God actually answers our prayers and gives us what we want. But another interpretation of that is that the ideas that pop into your mind and the feelings that come into your heart to do certain things, these aren't just things you're making up on your own. These are actually things that God has placed in you to focus at this time in your life. And so if you want to be prosperous in any season, then you definitely want to link up with Spirit because it knows way more than we ever could at any time of the year. So, activities that are favored right now as we wrapped up this video. Spiritual retreats, going to the beach to unwind. You want to definitely not be overthinking. The negative part is you could be overthinking situations. So instead of overthinking, go to the beach, go to nature, get around water to calm your mind and to get in touch with your spirit. Education's highly favored right now. So if you've been thinking about taking a course or a seminar, this is the time to go ahead and begin to study because your mind will be more like a sponge to absorb the information. This is a great time. If you ever thought about getting an astrology reading or intuitive reading or a tarot reading, this is a great time to get your personal readings because spirituality is really emphasized right now in 2020 March. Good time to go to a church service, a worship service. This is also the time to ask yourself big questions and be honest, truly honest with yourself with the answers that you get when you're talking about your career, your relationship, and your health on what you need to do going forward. You know, as I get ready to end this video, I deal with a lot of clients. And a lot of times what I'm doing is I'm telling them exactly what they need to be doing according to their chart. So some people are always in line with the universe because you have the same numbers, and so you kind of are in sync always. But others, if you're like me, seems to be always kind of at odds with the universe. That's not because you're a bad person or that you're just odd, but what it is that you have a soul vibration that is different every month. So you have to learn what your soul vibration is and do those things, your personal month, do those things, as well as realize that sometimes you're going to have to tweak a little bit the things you want to do so you're more in line with what the earth or the world is willing to accept at this time. Hey, subscribe to the button below on the YouTube. If you're looking at this Facebook, click and be a friend. And right now, let's expect in this month that we're going to get some clear direction from our intuition on what we need to do going forward into April.